Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Hezekiah back at it with another lesson. Promises to Abraham. Promises to Abraham. The promise of dominion over the nations. Promise of dominion over our enemies. Okay, first and foremost, let's give all honor and glory and praise and thanks to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's the Most High God of Israel and none else. And His only begotten Son, who the world called Jesus Christ. I'm going to give a shalom and double honors to the elders of the house of David and all the elders worldwide. I'm going to give a mighty shalom and shout out to the men out there pushing this truth, preaching this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. And I'm going to give another mighty shalom and shout out to all the women and children that's praying, fasting, giving alms, doing the works, keeping the commandments, and having the faith of the Black Messiah, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. We're going to start this off with a video.
The intersection of identity, history, and spiritual lineage in the Middle East is one of the most fiercely protected and weaponized narratives on the planet. To look closely at the demographic reality of modern Israel is to see a deep contradiction between ancient texts and contemporary politics. Do you guys realize that the people in Israel today are not the Israelis in the Bible? They weren't always there. Yes, they were. No, they weren't. All the Israeli people you see today are all from Eastern Europe. All of them. There's a reason why DNA testing is highly regulated in Israel. It's the reason why they get so defensive or whenever they get asked where their great-great-grandparents were born prior to Israel. The real Israelis were melanated people. Before these people from Eastern Europe that you guys see today arrived to Israel, it was a land filled with noble, humble people known as Israelites. It says it in the Bible. Spiritually in tune with themselves, they were the real God's chosen people. But then these fucks from Eastern Europe arrived, completely slaughtered them, and now run with this twisted narrative and lie that they are the real God's chosen people narrative so they can wear the stolen crown. So now they run with this for centuries, and it's not true. God's chosen people don't murder, cause mass genocides, cause mass world problems, wars, steal land, look down on other religions and people, assassinate or kill anyone who goes up against them or calls them out for their bad behavior, etc. They don't poison our foods and waters. No, God's chosen people does not do that.
Okay, all praise to the Most High. The truth is getting out. Let's start this lesson off with Genesis chapter 22, verse 17. Let's start at verse 16. And said, by myself have I sworn, saith Yahweh, for because you has done this thing and has not withheld thy son, thy only son, right? This is the Most High speaking to Abraham. Verse 17, that in blessing I will bless thee. What are we talking about? The blessings to Abraham, the promises to Abba Abraham. Read it on. And in multiplying, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven. So the Most High will be blessing Abraham with a vast population of children. Blessing Abraham with nations of children. Read it on. And as the sin which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. What does it mean by having the possession of the gates of our enemies? It means we're going to be gaining authority, control, and be victorious over those that oppose us. Okay? We're going to be in rulership. We're going to have power. We're going to be in leading, just like the presidents do, just like the prime ministers do today. You understand? And we're going to be sending out true judgment and justice throughout the whole world. And this was promised to Abraham and his seed. Who was his seed? Isaac. Who was Isaac promised seed? Jacob. And then who did the Most High God made a covenant with by blood? The 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. And with that, the other nations can experience peace. They could experience wellness. They could experience no more wars, no more crying, no more diseases. You understand? No more hardship, no more usury and oppression. Why? Because the righteous are in authority. When you read Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people are in joy. Let's get that real quick through the Spirit. Proverbs 29, verse 2. Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, who is the righteous? That's the covenant people, the Most High God, the Israelites. The people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourning. It's at an all-time high right now. People could barely live in America right now. People could barely pay their rent. People could barely feed themselves. People could barely take care of their family and pay their bills right now. Why? Because of inflation. Why? Because of interest rates. Why? Because of thievery. Why? Because of debt. Why? Because America's a greedy snake. America's a greedy dragon, a greedy vampire that sucks all the life and abundance and joy out of you, man. It's a land of darkness, man. Okay, but when the Most High set up his righteous covenant people, right? It's gonna be like a utopia of a straight gladness and myrrh and smiling and laughing and joyfulness, especially if you want to serve the Most High God in truthfulness and sincerity. Let's get the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. We're going to read verse 2 to 4. Matter of fact, let's just start from the top. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. And they should cleave to the house of Jacob. The other nations will cleave unto us. Why? Because they will realize that we are God's chosen people. Read it on. Verse 2. And the people, the other nations, shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them. You see that? The house of Israel shall possess the other nations. What does it mean to possess? Let's look this word up. Sometimes you gotta look up words. Own. We're gonna own these other nations. Be the owner of. Be in possession. Okay, have power over. Take control over. Have mastery over. Okay, this is what the Bible says, man. So that house of Israel shall have control over, be mastery over them in the land of Yahweh for what? Servants and handmaids, basically for slaves. And they should take them captives, whose captives they were, and they should rule over their oppressors. You see that? So the nations that once ruled us, we're going to rule over them. They're going to serve us just like we serve them. Okay? It's like reversing of the oppressor and the oppressed. Let's get the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. And this is really easy to understand. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. So Daniel was having a vision of many kingdoms, right? And nations that rule, that the Most High gave him a vision about. Okay, these are real governments that was established: the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks, the Romans. And out of Rome came America. You understand? The statue that Daniel saw was empires, world empires that ruled the earth. And then at the end, it was it was a stone that was cut without hands and represented the kingdom of the Most High. And you know that the kingdom of the Most High to come is going to be ruled by Yahweh, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And he's going to be joint heirs with the 12 tribes, the elect, the 144. Right? With the 144, he's going to destroy and establish a righteous kingdom that's going to be forever and ever. I'm going to read on though. And in these days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. You see that? There won't be other nations ruling or have authority or have some type of office or power in this kingdom that's coming. Read it on. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Okay? This is going to happen when we are restored back to our land, restored back to our blessings and promises, man. He's going to give it to us, and we're going to rule this earth forever and forever, ever. Let's get the book of Isaiah, chapter 2. We're going to read 2 to 4. Let me highlight it for you through the Spirit. Okay? Isaiah 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Who's that Lord's house? That represents God's government, the Israelites. Okay? It shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow onto it. We're going to be in a position given by the Most High that many nations, all nations, is going to come to us. They're going to flow to us for whatever they need. They're going to flow to us for their resources. They're going to flow to us because they're going to be serving us for the want of all things. The curses is going to be reversed. Verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the Most High of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. See, the word going out today is from the Pope, the World Council of Churches. Your wicked pastor on Sunday with the alligator shoes and the Tom Ford suit and with the S550 outside while you taking a bus to church, while you carpooling to church. He's teaching you doctrines of men. He's teaching you false religion, false prosperity doctrine. He's teaching you the wrong thing. But it shall come to pass in the last days when the real Israelites are restored back to their land. We're going to be ruling in righteousness, man. Yahweh Shai is going to be leading us to be ruled in righteous justice. We're going to be settling disputes righteously. We're going to be bringing peace to the other nations, man. Read it on, verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Okay? There's going to be no more war. The end of wars, man. And these other nations going to have to submit to our authority, submit to our laws, statutes, and commandments. Submit to whatever we say, man. Whatever we say goes down. The Israelites will be ruling over these nations because they need it. We the light. And these people are gross darkness. That's what Isaiah 60 say. Look at the world today. Look at the other nations, what they promote, what they do, their culture, their lifestyle, their traditions, what they eat, what they think, and their philosophies, their ideas, man. It ain't right. Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 26. Let's see what Yahushua said. Let's see what Jesus said. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So Yahushua promised us, if we stay faithful and we are obedient and we have works, not just faith. Who's having works with faith? Only the Israelites are doing it. The Most High, through Yahushua, is going to give us power over the nations. That's rulership, man. And we're going to have a rod of iron. That symbolizes strong, righteous authority to enforce God's laws and judgment. Verse 27, he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a powder shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So, this is a promise. This is a blessing, right? Started from Abraham, from God, to anoint us as kings. That's going to receive authority over these nations, authority over the whole earth, as long as we endure. Okay? Let's get the book of Zechariah, chapter 14. Let's start at verse 16. We're going to read 16 and 19 through the Spirit. Zechariah 14, start at verse 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And this is talking about what's going to take place in the kingdom of God. If the nations is going to be saved, if there's salvation for the nations, why are the heathen being threatened to be smitten? Why are the heathen threatened to get their resources taken from them? Because they're not the chosen people of God. They are lower than us. They are slaves. They are servants. They're nothing to the Most High God. Verse 19, this shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. You see that? And the reason Zechariah is saying the punishment of Egypt, the family Egypt, even remember, Egypt was a powerful, powerful kingdom, powerful empire. Even the most dominant, most strongest people is going to be under subjection under the Israelites. Okay? You got to give the Most High all glory, all praise for this, man. So other nations will have to worship the Most High and keep the commandments. And this is proof that the God's laws and his holy days are going to remain especially important, very important in the kingdom. And the nations that refuse to obey will be punished with drought, right? And other judgments, man. You're going to be put to death. You're going to be beaten with the rod of iron. You're going to be smitten, or you should surely perish. You choose. That's the only salvation that the nations get. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Verse 17, for I will restore health, Salakia, unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith Yahweh, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, Jerusalem, the Israelites, whom no man seeketh after. So in context, this is talking about the Israelites that's going to devour those that devour them. This is talking about Israelites' adversaries, their enemies, going into captivity, being spoiled. Why? Because we were. Think about the different captivities we were in. Think about all the crafty counsel that was taking place against us. All these schemes and plans to destroy our households, destroy our minds, destroy our economics, destroy our children and women. You understand? The Most High is going to defend his people and repay our oppressors, man. That's divine justice, man. All that afflict us shall be afflicted. Those that exploit us and harm us, they will be exploited and harmed as well. This is Bible. Believe it or not. Don't matter. It's going to come to pass because the Lord don't lie. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 149. We're going to start at verse 1, then I'm jump down to 5. No matter of fact, we get started at 5. We're going to read 5 to 9 through the Spirit. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Who is the saints? Come on now, it's the Israelites. Let's stay in the same book. Matter of fact, let's go 5 chapters. Wait, Salaki. Let's go 1 chapter before. Psalms 148, verse 14. Let's get it in the ESV. Psalms 148, verse 14 ESV. He has raised up a horn for his people. Praise for all his saints. For the people of Israel who are near to him. Praise Yahweh. So the saints are the people of Israel. The children of Israel. His covenant people. His special people. His chosen people. Those his beloved ones. Back to Psalms 149, verse 5 to 9. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let the Israelites be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, their presidents, their prime ministers, their mayors, their governors, their law enforcement, read it on, and their nobles with fetters and iron, their spokesmen, right? Their defense attorneys, their judges that did us wrong, right? Their scholars that lied. You understand? Their popes, their cardinals, their ministers that lied and deceived us. Verse 9, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord, man. You see that? We're going to be binding their kings. We're going to be overthrowing these powers, man. We're going to be executing judgment, man. Those that oppressed us, those that opposed us, those that lied to us and deceived us and try to destroy us, they will be destroyed. They will go into captivity. Let's get the book of Wisdom, chapter 3, verse 8. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. Who was they? Verse 1. But the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. You see that? That's talking about the Israelites, God's faithful covenant people, man. We're going to judge the nations. We're going to exercise authority according to the Most High laws. Okay? We're going to establish true justice, true morality. Okay? And this is going to be an everlasting rulership. Let's get a couple more. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 44, verse 21. Ecclesiastes, Sirach 44:21. Therefore, he assured him by an oath. That's what we're talking about now. The blessings, the promises that was passed down, generational inheritance. That he would bless the nations in his seed, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land. Verse 22. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men in the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing and gave him heritage, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes that he part them. Now let's read one of the promises in that covenant. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 13. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. You know what that means? Above only. We're going to be on top. We're going to be the heads of the monetary system. We're going to be heads of the agriculture system. We're going to be heads of the housing system. We're going to be controlling all the resources. Right? We're going to be teaching you how to worship the Most High in the right way. Okay? You're going to be coming to us for all things. These nations will have to submit, will have to be in subjection. Read on. If thou hearken to the commandments of Yahweh thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. Okay, with that one, give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. The promises to Abraham. Dominion over the nations. Kwame Yasharala.